Hey guys, in this little video you'll see an excellent tool called Digital Marketers Toolbox. Matt de Cruz from Network Empire will go through the program and give you an idea of what it can do for your business and what it can do for you. It will save you an enormous amount of time. So take a look at it. You'll be glad you did. Thank you. But generally, Matt, when we are doing this keyword analysis, it is something that takes an awful lot of time to get your overview and get an idea that you have developed a new little tool that will do the heavy lifting, if to say, for the people who are doing. And maybe you can get like we can get a little sneak peek view to what you've been doing.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Let me show this up here quickly. What I've worked on in the last 8 months is I've developed a tool, Digital Marketers Toolbox, and the keyword qualification matrix is at the heart of the actual tool. It's I want to know what is the language that's actually making money online? What are the words that are being used? What is the content that is actually creating the traffic? And how are these guys basically doing what they're doing to become authority sites? So beginning with Network Empire, we've created a lot of tools over the years. We've created Kraken, we've created killer keyword tools. We were the first guys to start talking about silo architecture once we went through Bruce Clay's training and stuff. We've been talking about technical design for many years. So what I did in Network Empire was I coached a lot of the guys through the technical builds and the technical frameworks, and I could see where the guys were getting stuck. And it's true what you say. It becomes very hard, especially if you're new to the game. So what I've done with Digital Marketers Toolbox is I've changed the way we actually analyze things, and I've created procedural routines that run in a tool that actually bring back the most important keywords that actually drive traffic to websites. And we can get to see it from a very interesting way. And the way it works is super simple. And basically, like I said, you start with the human. Who's this company? Who's the person that's working this company? Where is this company found? What's the geographical relation? What's the social properties? We basically bind that to the property, because for the semantic web, we need to make those associations. Once we jump into that, we essentially can go in and pretend or look at any website that we want. So I basically flagged Neil Patel as my website as the primary site I want to basically reverse engineer. And then I've added market competitors. And what this does, it very quickly shows me the battlefield. I get to see how strong they are, how many keywords they're ranking for, how much traffic they're getting, how much organic rank value their traffic actually has, and who's using PPC. And I get to see this in literally 5 minutes. So before, when we did competitive analysis or any kind of form of analysis, whether it's local SEO, we had to go do a lot of keyword research and all that kind of stuff. Now with this method and this tool that I bought now, it's literally minutes. We don't have to. As we look at domains, we come back in and we get to see an overview of that actual domain very, very quickly. Where's the traffic? Where's the missed opportunities? As we add the domains, it allows us to see the market as a whole. We get the semantic cluster. And I can look at all the keywords across all these domains at once and very quickly see where the traffic flows in the market, what pages are driving this traffic, what funnels are set up, where the opportunities. With this information, I basically extract all the top backlinks and the top questions out of the market. And for any product that I add, I can basically add my funnel. When I add my funnel with my conversion settings, I essentially can look at how many keywords are being, or questions are being asked in the market. So over here, we've got 483 questions in this theme that we're actually looking at, that people are competing in, and you can see them. Yeah. They're basically the keywords. So what's great about the tool is in minutes, I could essentially sit with the client on the phone and talk to him about his website in real time, pull back this information while we're having the conversation, see where he's strong, see where the missed opportunities are, see how he's performing compared to his competitors, and then determine whether the strategy should be getting more rankings or optimizing what he has already. So it helps us as digital marketers to think very carefully about how we're going to enter the battle, how we're going to engage to find the traffic, and then more importantly, what are the most important words within this market that we're using. And what it does is it gives me a nice opportunity to basically jump in for adding products. So I'll log into another account quickly here, and just show you a local type of business where we essentially have a primary site and a competitor. And when we jump into the actual profile and we get into the market analysis, we can see the lay of the land. We can see that this site's got more keywords than this one. It changes the whole game. We can see he's doing PPC, and then it allows us to basically go look at all these keywords. So we can see the keywords, we can see all the competitors, what keywords are common amongst these guys, where the money's flowing, mathematically relevant competitors, how much money is getting made in the market. It's got a lot of rich data that's perfect for market analysis. So it's not a matter of compiling thousands of spreadsheets anymore. Everything's there for us. So if we want to do display ads, we can essentially look at the organic competitors and identify them, and then feed those URLs to the display ads. We can give those URLs to Facebook, and we can say, okay, create me an audience from this. We know the keywords that are associated to that page. So when we look at the products, essentially what we did was we took Kraken, we pushed into market research, we did killer keywords, we've injected into here, and we built out our architecture over here. Within this theme, we essentially can see any of these keywords. They all got their custom funnels set for them. We can look at the theme through trends. What are the important themes? What are the important theme keywords? Who the top competitors are for that specific URL. So in a matter of filling in 2 or 3 forms, it extracts the whole market for us and gives us all the information that we need. So in this local market, we can see the top pages. We can rotate through those pages and see what keywords they're ranking for. So you can see this guy's totally smashing the market in comparison to his competitors that are ranking for it. And then we can see the ontology. What are the words that are important? What are the words that are used the most within this? And then more importantly, what are the top videos that are ranking for that specific keyword, and who's getting the traffic and how the page and site looks. So what DMT does, it gives us all this information really fast, and then by the time we add the stuff and we come back, it exports everything out for us, all prepped and ready in CSV. So it doesn't matter. I just want to quickly show all the exports we have here. It doesn't really matter which market we attack. The way the procedures are written and right, it basically pulls the pants down of your competitors and shows you everything that they have that's working, which is great about it. So the guys that have been using this, they're saying it's saving them hours and hours of time, where they basically just go in, they add the competitors, they add the products that the guys are selling, they set up their sales funnel conversions, boom, everything is done for the guys, and it gives them all the information they need back. It's very, very, I love the tool. I use it all the time now. It's saved us hours. And what we're tending to do now more and more with this is we're actually sitting on a webinar. We're speaking to the client that we're pitching for, and we're actually showing the information within the tool and discussing the key things he needs to do. Through the webinar, we're sending that to client, and then they're coming back and they're signing it up that way around. So it's an interesting new process. It's giving us the ability to talk to them in real time, looking at their website and the competitors' websites. And when we jump into the actual live call with the customer, the conversation is very, very rich. So what we've done at DMT is we've created a linear process that filters out all the noise. I don't care if they're ranking for 25,000 keywords. What I want to understand is what are the core ideas, the core keywords that helps me create the keyword qualification matrix combinations that's going to help me dominate the market. So that's sort of the idea and what's driving DMT. We're using intelligence. We're getting the best keywords. We know what's working on all the competitors we add. We're getting all the theme keywords. We can see which keywords potentially make us money based on our funnels. It's a great tool.
It's cool. So you can actually, I saw there was an export possibility to export your silos out of the tool. Is that correct?
Yes. So what you'll see is by domain, organic and paid, we can actually extract these. We can push these to Facebook, to Google. We can use tools like frank.ar once we've identified who the competitors are that are actually giving us ads. And we can say, push our ads into these places and create audiences from people who visit these sites. This simplifies everything for us. Paid competitors, we can see what they're paying, and then we can look at what their ads are. once we identify who they are using tools like WordStream and those other things, SEMrush. The domain rank keywords, these are all the keywords that this actual domain is ranking for. So it helps us reverse engineer. So coming down to your question, we can actually export out the ROI, all the theme keywords, all the ranked backlink URLs, the top videos, the top questions. We can actually have the ROI stacks or the Google Drive stacks. You can get all those keywords and push them in there. So for your local tool that you've bought, Hendrik, if you take those words that are important, you bind your local modifiers onto them using the location, which is number 4, you're going to have a very thematically relevant subset of keywords to use that's geographically targeted to that specific project you're working on for your Google My Business. So it just makes it super easy because we just run it, grab the keywords, shove it in. And then obviously over here, you can export out all your funnel settings. You can export out a CSV of your silos or your categories, which you can then pass into your writers. And then obviously if you're using the video silo builder, you can export your XML, which will then import into WordPress and create the whole entire URL structure, the titles, and the H1 tags for you automatically.
Cool. Very cool. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. Jeff and I have basically taken, well, Jeff and I have been talking about this. This is Jeff from SEO Design Solutions. We've been speaking about, we called it the brain for about 7 years. And this is essentially the intelligence that sits behind it is the brain. And this is the outputs that come back that help us just do our job fast. We don't have to go sit and scratch and filter. We just go and grab and get what we need and then use it as we go through the process.
Michael has a question. What is the learning curve for learning this tool?
Super easy. Basically what you do is, the way it's built is a profile. That's the human. Who is the person who controls this entity? Okay, that's just for the semantic web. So we basically can add the contact details and the business name for now to start the project. We can create it. Within a profile, we can have multiple projects. And for each project that we add, this can either be for your one website and your competitors to do the competitive market analysis. Or you can basically, if you've got multiple sites, you might have an e-commerce store, a blog, and a wiki, and a money site about the company. You can add those 4 and look at them, how they compete against each other and what they're ranking for. So that helps us sculpting things. The way to do that is simple. You basically take your profile you selected, you put in the URL with no trading slash, select your search engine, define what it is, and then press submit. And that'll basically go off and do the draw. Then when you come back and the draw's done, if you have any products, what you can basically do then is add those products. So if we look at this one here, there's a more done for a reverse engineer. In the Neil Patel, when I'm in that profile, the only other form you really fill in is your product. So you'd put in the product name, select the search engine. We say 2 keywords max. The reason for that is we're going to look at market segments or markets and pull all the keywords back from that entire stack for that specific theme that we're looking in. So if we look at digital marketing tools over here, we can sort of see that we drilled into digital market. All we did there was we filled in the keyword, defined a Google My Business category if it's local, and then we add the currency, the price, the profit per sale, how many times that thing sold, are there any trials, and then we create a range for our click-through rates. We add how much percentage we believe the guys will click on our buy button when they land on our page, how many guys will contact us through the phone, and how many guys will contact us or opt in. We put all this information in there, press submit, and it comes back and it has drilled out all the information. To create a project takes 3 minutes. To create a product, which is basically drilling into a theme, takes literally 7 or 8 minutes to do. So for this project where I've come in and I've reverse engineered this stuff here, all the digital marketing giants, this is taking me 30 minutes to add all these things and those 2 products I've added. And it's giving me a mountain of information, super rich. And it's all the best keywords in the actual market. So that's essentially the learning curve. So then what you do is if you're building your sites, the story becomes much, much easier to work with. All we do is we start at the top, we add our competitors, we do our market research, it's already done for us, that's all drilled out, it does the whole routine for you. We add the products that we want to sell, we map out our websites, we export it, we import it into WordPress. The entire structure is actually mapped out for us automatically. So on the website architecture, when we come to build this out, what you can see, I've added 2 keywords. Now, depending on what product I'm adding, I set my funnel, and whatever keywords I select, I can basically add them. I can see where the money flows. I can say whether I'm going to be doing PPC, display, or video. This basically helps me define what's happening in the blueprints and what work I'm going to be doing where. And I can set my slug, my page title, and my H1. So when we export this XML out, the entire funnel's there, plus I've got a record of what my potential ROI will be. And it shows me that. The same applies for the categories. Once I select my funnel, which I've done over there, it unlocks this. When I choose the parent keyword, it unlocks the grid. And what it allows us to do is essentially either choose to look at all the competing websites or to choose the specific product. So I can go to product cluster, and it'll only show me the keywords that are from digital marketing. So there's all my digital marketing keywords. If I wanted to look at the other one, which was Uber Suggest, which was keyword tool, and I set the product, my funnel changes and all the ROI changes. I can actually see all those keywords that came back for that specific drill. So it becomes very rich, and it really helps us a lot. And if we want to actually look at what's ranking at that point in time, we can click on that link and it takes us to the page, and we can see what's being said on that page. We can actually extract things, tweak things as we're going along. So the process is very simple. Create a project, add your competitors, do your market analysis, understand the market, understand the keywords, understand the stuff, think about the keyword qualification matrix, extract the questions, map out your website, import it, and then pass it on to the content writers. It gives you a ton of information. You export, so if you're selling digital marketing blueprints, you have everything prepped and ready for you. And what we do for the guys that are doing the blueprints on the dashboard, we've given you all of the templates that you can use for beginners. I'll just open a few to show you what happens. If you're starting off, questions you can ask yourself as you map out the market. So you can see I've got a dummy here that I've done. What the heck are you selling? It gives you 13 pages of things you can consider when you're mapping out products for your clients, questions you can ask them about demographics or creating audiences. You've got your process mapped out of things you do at different stages. You can log your times. A proposal template for your client. You can come in and define what you want to sell to the guys. You can copy and paste. What the guys are doing is they're copying and pasting screenshots into this from DMT. And then they're saying to the customer, okay, these are the things we're going to do for you at different stages. And then the implementation plan. It basically is a document you can take and modify with how everything basically works. So yeah, with the DMT bundle, it basically gives you a lot of access to all the stuff in a very linear process. It's not jumping backwards and forwards. The tool drives the production of your website, essentially. Does that answer your question? Sorry, I just wanted to be pretty thorough there.
No, I think that's cool. I'm still trying to put up my doors because they collapsed. I think it's a really, really cool tool. And let me see. Can you see the benefit of using such a tool, Michael? Yes, sir, he says.
So it's an awesome tool. You can see sort of, yeah, we basically look at multiple markets, whatever market we go into, it just unlocks absolutely everything. So if we drop into this website here, as we're coming in, you can imagine if you've written a project, you speak to the client on the phone, you fill in one form within 3 or 4 minutes of their call, you can actually look at what he's talking about. You can see how much keywords he has, what's he doing on paid. You can see the top keywords, the missed opportunities. If he got ranked for macro calculators in position 3, you'll get a higher percentage of that 74,000 searches a month, which means it'll have a direct impact on his ROI if his funnel plans out like we've mapped it out. And it's a very intuitive. It cuts through all the noise. I don't care if they rank you for 13,000 keywords. What keywords are important to help him get all those variants to come into his website? That's the important question. And that's what the content classification helps us achieve. or those stems.
So if you produce a blueprint for your clients, you can actually sell that to the client for big bucks, can't you?
Yes, it's business online is no different from business offline. And if you don't actually create a plan or some form of measurable tasks that you can execute and bind it to some form of transactional end result, then you're wasting a lot of time, because you're not going to be able to clearly build your website to speak to the audience that actually wants to buy your product. It doesn't help throwing 1,000 keywords into a website and creating this huge structure when your audience only uses a specific thing. So when Jeff and I were looking at this market, what was quite interesting when we jumped into the questions here was, into the market semantic cluster, and I just filtered this by calculator. And I just opened up all the keywords. What it essentially did for us was it exposed that there were close to 158 calculators. And the way I got to that information was I went to products. Let's refresh the page so I can pull in the products. When we go to the actual macro calculator, and I come to my keyword manager over here, and I just type in calculator here. Basically show me 158 keywords that contain calculator. And if you look through this very carefully, especially from a semantic point of view, you could essentially create a page on the site for each of those different calculators, or group them and create the different calculators and tap into massive amounts of traffic, because it's extremely non-competitive, long-tail keywords. But each one has a specific use to a specific type of audience. So if this guy was building a site, what we were suggesting to the guys, maybe consider segmenting those audiences and grouping the calculators that they need, because you've got a domain authority of 50. And if he does that and gives a little description about it and tags it properly, he's going to get about a load of more traffic instantly, just by changing and using words that are important to the people that are looking for that type of information. Does that make sense?
It's super. It's really super.
So it helps us to really think about the market from a marketing perspective and not get stuck in the technical where our heads are. There's 5,000 searches here. It's not about that. It's about the contextual relevance and getting the connections between, put the building blocks in of what words are going to bring the people at what stage of your funnel to achieve your same thing. So for lost leaders and bringing guys in, these calculators, there's tons here. Food, macro. There's tons of opportunities on this. And in the exports, it was even richer as we actually focused in on it. So this is how we sort of use DMT to give us deeper insights fast, so we can actually work with our clients more effectively.
Cool, Matt. I'm glad you took the time to show us this awesome tool, and I will drop a link in the chat box so the people can go and take a look at it if they like. So
sure, no
thank you very much. This was really, really, really awesome, Matt, and I appreciate very much you took the time to come on. And any questions out there that you want to ask Matt whilst he's here?
No, thank you, Hendrik. It's only a pleasure to share the information that you've been in and out of my community for years as well. So I'm happy to share this knowledge with your crew.
Thank you very much. Any questions out there? Except from that's bloody awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks. Well, thank you very much, guys. We have gone for nearly an hour now, and we normally just go for 30 minutes. So
I do apologize for taking your time, guys.
No.
But I hope that methods helped you guys really simplify the way you think about keywords, because it's not about the search volume is an indicator. It's not the law of God. It's just an indicator, and it's the intent and understanding how we construct those little shingles together that helps us achieve and get more reach online, especially when we're broadcasting and using the tools that Hendrik's created with Google My Business and all those kind of things. Putting those right words in the right places has a massive effect.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Matt. And I don't think there's more questions out there. So thank you very much for your time. And we're looking forward to abuse your new tool.
No, thank you, guys. It's only a pleasure. And thank you for having me. It was great to hang out with you guys.
You're welcome. And thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you next week again to a new awesome show. Thank you very much and take care out there.